Chosen ones, let me tell you right now, you were never meant to chase money. You were designed to attract it, to draw it in like a magnet, to watch it flow into your life effortlessly. If you're here, it's not by chance. There's a divine appointment in this very moment. Something inside you has been stirring, telling you there's more, telling you that the struggle you once knew is about to fade into a distant memory. Today, I want you to lean in, to open your heart wide, because we're about to uncover why money has no choice but to gravitate toward you. First, I need you to mark this moment with a bold act of faith. Right now, type 777 in the comments below. Let the heavens and the digital realm alike see your declaration. I am ready to receive the abundant flow of wealth that is rightfully mine. By typing 7777, you're not just performing some random gesture. You're igniting a spiritual law that sets things in motion. And while you're at it, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and stay until the very end, because revelations like this don't come often and you don't want to miss a single word. You see, many of us grew up with the notion that money is hard to get, that wealth is reserved for an elite few, but that belief is a lie, designed to keep you in a cycle of scarcity. The truth is, everything in creation resonates at a certain frequency, including money. And when your own energy aligns with the frequency of abundance, you can't help but attract the resources, opportunities, and financial blessings that have been waiting for you all along. It's not magic, it's alignment. When you step into your divine identity, when you embrace the gifts and calling on your life, money begins to flow to you effortlessly, almost as if it had been searching for you from the start. Think of a river. It never strains to move. It simply follows the natural path carved out before it. The same goes for money. It follows the path of least resistance. When your beliefs, your mindset, and your daily habits are in sync with prosperity, you remove the blocks, the rocks, the dams in your personal river, and wealth flows freely. This is why, when you're in a state of flow, when you're creative, passionate, and walking in purpose, you notice unexpected checks in the mail, business deals landing in your lap, or job offers popping up out of nowhere. That's not coincidence. That's the effortless current of abundance seeking you out. Now, I know some of you might say, that all sounds great, but my bank account isn't reflecting it. Let me challenge you to shift your perspective. Instead of waking up each morning dreading your financial situation, begin to thank God for what you do have. Gratitude is a powerful catalyst. It heightens your awareness of opportunities, improves your overall attitude, and draws more of what you appreciate into your life. You'd be amazed how swiftly circumstances change when you stop cursing your situation and start speaking life over it. Proverbs 18:21 reminds us that life and death are in the power of the tongue. Are you speaking life over your finances? Are you affirming daily that you're designed for overflow? Chosen ones, you didn't come into this world empty-handed. You arrived with talents, with a unique vision, with seeds of greatness in your DNA. The Creator placed an assignment on your life, one that requires resources to fulfill. Don't you think He provided a means for you to secure those resources? Money flows to you effortlessly when you stand in the center of your God-given purpose. That's the secret. Purpose is the door through which provision enters. When you wander outside your calling, it can feel like you're constantly swimming upstream. But step back into alignment and you'll see how quickly the flow returns. Remember the story of Peter fishing all night without catching a single thing? Then Jesus shows up and tells him to cast the net on the other side. The moment Peter aligned with divine instruction, fish came flooding in, nearly breaking the net with the sheer weight of the catch. This is exactly what happens when you follow the divine nudge in your spirit. You may have been toiling without results, but once you shift to the other side of obedience, Wealth arrives so abundantly that it can astonish even you. Sometimes, we just need that simple act of surrender, letting go of our own agenda and trusting the guidance that God places in our hearts. Also, we have to talk about fear. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment. These can clog up your pipeline to prosperity. You might have all the right skills, all the right ideas, but if you're paralyzed by fear, your energy repels the very blessings you seek. Fear is a low vibration that contradicts abundance. The moment you decide, truly decide, that you're done living in the shadows of what-ifs, you'll feel something break off your life. Doors you once knocked on with no answer will swing wide open. People who never returned your calls will suddenly be eager to connect. That is the power of choosing faith over fear. And let's not forget the principle of generosity. It might seem counterintuitive to give when you feel you lack, but generosity is one of the fastest ways to signal that you live in an abundant realm. When you freely give, time, money, energy, you are effectively telling the universe, I trust there is more where that came from. It's a statement of deep faith, one that triggers reciprocity. Luke 6:38 promises that when you give, it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So if you feel stuck financially, try sowing a seed somewhere meaningful. It might be an act of kindness, a donation, or helping someone in need. Watch how your own supply begins to multiply. Now, I want you to do something that might stretch your comfort zone a bit. Close your eyes. Imagine money flowing to you like a mighty current, swirling around you without effort, without resistance. Let yourself feel that relief, that joy, that sense of absolute possibility. Then, carry that feeling into your everyday life. As you run errands, as you interact with colleagues, as you plan your future, hold on to that expectancy, because faith is not just belief. It's a posture, a conviction that reorders your steps. Once you start living from that conviction, you'll see a transformation in how people respond to you, in how opportunities present themselves, and in how seamlessly finances come together. When doubts arise, remind yourself of all the times in your past when you thought you wouldn't make it, yet here you are. You've been sustained this far, haven't you? That's evidence of a greater hand at work. Sometimes we get so fixated on what we don't have that we forget how many miracles have already shaped our journey. By focusing on these miracles, you shift your spirit into a state of gratitude and openness, and that's the breeding ground for more miracles. After all, God is not limited by our logic. He's only limited by our willingness to receive. Let's also talk about the people around you. Not everyone will celebrate this new chapter where money flows to you effortlessly. Some might be skeptical, envious, or plain cynical. They'll say things like, "Oh, you're just lucky," or "That won't last." Understand that their reactions often stem from their own limiting beliefs, not from any truth about your situation. Don't let their doubts seep into your consciousness. Guard your mind vigilantly. Surround yourself with those who encourage your growth and challenge you to dream bigger. When you connect with like-minded individuals, you amplify your ability to attract even greater blessings. If you've typed 777 in the comments already, do it again. This time, let it be a second wave of declaration, a reaffirmation that you're done with scarcity mindsets and halfway faith. You're stepping fully into that realm where money flows to you effortlessly, not because you're chasing it, but because you're aligned with the purpose that calls it forth. Imagine the angelic host taking note of each 777, preparing doors to open, resources to be released, and favor to be unlocked. You might wonder, how can I remain in this effortless flow once I taste it? The key is consistency. Consistency in your faith, in your gratitude, in your obedience. It's easy to revert to old patterns when stress hits. But remember, stress is just an opportunity to practice deeper trust. When you encounter obstacles, instead of panicking, pause and ask, how would the version of me who lives in abundance respond to this? Then do exactly that. Align your actions with your new identity and watch how quickly the obstacle loses its power. Above all, never confuse wealth with worth. Your value as a person doesn't fluctuate with your bank balance. You are inherently worthy, created for a destiny that money merely supports. Money is a tool, not a master. Let it serve your vision, let it further your mission, let it bring relief and uplift to those around you. When used correctly, money becomes an instrument of love, empowerment, and transformation. And here's a hidden gem. When you operate in a spirit of peace, money finds you even faster. Anxiety repels, peace attracts. If you're constantly anxious about finances, you're effectively broadcasting a signal of, I don't believe there's enough. That dissonance pushes away the very thing you desire. On the other hand, when you rest in the assurance that all your needs are met and even exceeded, you create a magnetic field that draws in opportunities and solutions you could never plan for. That doesn't mean you won't take inspired action. It means you'll do so from a place of calm rather than desperation. Chosen ones, let me remind you, you didn't stumble onto this message. This is a divine confirmation, an answered prayer, a reminder of the truths your soul already knows but needed to hear again. You are wired for abundance. The very fact that you've been entrusted with dreams and visions beyond your current reality means that provision is on the way. The dream wouldn't exist if the supply didn't already exist in the spiritual realm. All that's needed is your permission, your partnership, and your unshakable belief. Now, if you're feeling that spark in your heart, that sense that something powerful is clicking into place, I want you to type 777 one more time. Let this third declaration seal your commitment to living in overflow. Each time you press that number, think of it as a spiritual down payment on the wealth that is making its way to you. Feel the joy of receiving. Feel the relief of debt lifted, of goals funded, of purposeful living unlocked. You might ask, how soon can I see results? Sometimes it's almost immediate. A phone call out of the blue, a check arriving in the mail, a chance conversation that leads to a raise or a new contract. Other times it's a steady build, but it's always worth the wait. Don't despise small beginnings. They're often the stepping stones to massive breakthroughs. Keep planting those seeds of faith. Keep tending your mental garden with positive affirmations, and keep stepping into new opportunities with boldness. If you ever catch yourself sliding back into doubt, revisit this message. Let it remind you of who you truly are. You are chosen, you are anointed for abundance, and money flows to you effortlessly because that's how it was always meant to be. This isn't wishful thinking, it's the reality for those who dare to believe. The difference between those who see overflow and those who stay stuck in lack often comes down to a single pivot, the decision to align with the truth of their divine That's you stepping into fullness without apology. There's a reason this message resonates with you so strongly. On some level, your spirit already knows you are designed for abundance, not merely scraping by. Yet the world might have tried to convince you otherwise, maybe through tough experiences, setbacks, or the doubts of those around you. But let me tell you, every setback was a setup for your comeback. Every doubt was a catalyst for you to rise in faith, and every negative voice only underscored how powerful your destiny truly is. Now, let's address something crucial, the role of your mindset. If you truly believe you are worthy of wealth, your actions and decisions will flow from that place of worthiness. You'll apply for jobs you once thought were out of reach. You'll network with people you once felt intimidated by, and you'll invest in yourself without guilt. Why? Because you know deep down that greatness is your birthright. Conversely, if you doubt your worth, You'll sabotage golden opportunities, shy away from potential breakthroughs, and remain stuck in a loop of scarcity thinking. That's why Romans 12:02 urges us to be transformed by the renewing of our mind. Transformation begins in how you think. If you want money to flow effortlessly, your first task is to train your mind to accept it, expect it, and embrace it. Think about the law of sowing and reaping. Most of us interpret it as a call to give in order to receive. That's partly true, but there's a deeper dimension. You are constantly sowing seeds with your thoughts, words, and intentions. If you sow fear and negativity, your harvest will match that energy. If you sow confidence, gratitude, and a vision for better days, you'll reap a harvest aligned with abundance. This principle works, whether you're conscious of it or not. So why not use it to your advantage? Start each day by sowing high-energy seeds. Speak out loud. I am an open channel for financial blessings. Money comes to me easily and frequently. I deserve success. Then watch how your daily experiences begin to shift. Another key lies in understanding your unique gifts. When you operate in your gift, money often follows with ease. Why? Because your gift is where your passion, skill, and divine calling intersect. It creates value for others, and value is what money honors. For instance, if you have a knack for encouraging people, you might find yourself in a counseling or coaching role, drawing clients who gladly pay for your wisdom. If your gift is in creativity, you could monetize your art, design, or entertainment. The specifics don't matter as much as the principle. Hone your gifts, present them to the world with excellence, and the flow of money will naturally align. This is not hustle culture, this is joyful service aligned with purpose. You might have noticed a pattern when you're in alignment. Things click. Deals finalize without drama, relationships blossom without force, and ideas flow like a waterfall. That's the zone where money flows effortlessly. On the other hand, when you're off track, everything feels like a battle. Contracts fall through, doors slam shut, and people who once supported you back away. Sometimes, that's a divine redirection, steering you back to your destined path. Don't resist it. Listen, pivot, and move forward with faith. In those moments, it's better to pause and realign than to bulldoze your way into a dead end. Watch the words coming out of your mouth. Do you speak as though you're cursed or blessed? Do you talk about never having enough or about the endless supply that's on its way? Your confession creates your reality. If you constantly lament your lack, you reinforce lack. If you boldly declare wealth, you amplify wealth. Yes, it may feel strange at first to talk about abundance when your bank account is near zero, but faith calls things into existence before they manifest. Romans 4:17. That's not denial, it's prophetic declaration. Chosen ones, you're on a journey to unlock the spiritual laws of prosperity. One such law is the power of intention. When you set a clear intention, say, to earn a certain amount this year, or to pay off all debts, or to start a profitable business, you harness your focus like a laser. Opportunities that align with your intention suddenly stand out. But here's the catch. Your intention must be backed by faith and by action. Daydreaming about wealth without taking a single step toward it won't cut it. The word says, faith without works is dead. James 2:17. So dream big, but also put in the work. Show up fully for your own vision. Even a small step in the right direction, taken daily, can create massive momentum. Let's talk about timing. Many people give up right before their breakthrough. They try a new venture, hit a rough patch, and assume it's never going to work. But what if that rough patch was just the final hurdle before the floodgates opened? So many success stories feature a dark night of the soul just prior to victory. This is where perseverance becomes your best friend. If you truly believe money flows to you effortlessly, you won't quit at the first sign of resistance. You'll see resistance as a signpost that you're on the brink of something major. Keep pushing, keep believing, keep showing up. Sometimes the biggest block to effortless wealth is emotional baggage. Maybe you grew up hearing that rich people are greedy or that money is the root of all evil, though the scripture actually says the love of money is the root of all evil. Maybe you witness family members fight over finances. Whatever the case, unresolved emotional wounds can subconsciously make you repel prosperity because deep down you associate it with pain or moral compromise. If that resonates with you, it's time to do some inner healing. Release those old narratives, forgive whoever planted them in you, and adopt a perspective that wealth is a resource for doing good, for uplifting communities, and for living out your highest purpose. As money starts flowing, maintain a posture of humility. Arrogance can derail even the strongest blessings. Humility doesn't mean downplaying your success, it means acknowledging the source of it. Recognize that this effortless flow is a partnership between you and divine grace. You do your part, God does his. Pride tends to say, I did this all on my own, while humility admits, I co-labored with Spirit, and I'm grateful for every open door. That humility becomes a safeguard, preventing the corruption that can sometimes accompany wealth. Don't be surprised if you start getting random phone calls or emails offering you opportunities that never crossed your mind before. Don't be shocked if a dormant project suddenly comes to life. When you shift into effortless abundance, things that lay dormant often resurrect. Seeds you planted long ago but forgot about can suddenly sprout. This is why you should never regret the attempts you made in the past. Even if they seemed to fail back then, they might have laid the groundwork for success now. Chosen ones. There's also a generational aspect to this. Many of you carry the responsibility of breaking cycles of poverty or financial struggle in your family line. You may have ancestors who toiled day and night, never rising above survival mode. Now, you're the one anointed to shift that narrative. The wealth that flows to you effortlessly isn't just for you, it's to set a new standard, to create opportunities for those coming after you, to rewrite your family's financial legacy. That's a high calling, and you've been entrusted with it because you have the resilience and faith to see it through. At times, the enemy may try to sow seeds of imposter syndrome. Who do you think you are to be wealthy? Don't you see how many people are struggling? Let me tell you, your prosperity doesn't take away from others. There's no shortage in God's universe. If anything, your abundance can be a vehicle to help those in need. Don't let guilt talk you out of your blessing. You can have compassion for others and still thrive financially. In fact, thriving financially can put you in a better position to make a real difference, to feed the hungry, educate the young, or empower the marginalized. Right now, I want you to take a deep breath and visualize your future self. See the version of you that's standing confidently, financially secure, generous, and at peace with money. Feel the gratitude in that moment. Sense the relief that you no longer worry about unexpected bills. Let that feeling saturate your being. That's the frequency you want to broadcast every single day. The more you tune into that station of gratitude and expectancy, the more your outer world rearranges itself to match that internal reality. By now you should sense a stirring in your heart, a soft voice inside saying, "This is truth." That's because it is. Everything you've been through has led you here, to this message, to this activation. The struggles were not wasted. They were lessons, forging your character, testing your resolve. And now, the season has shifted. Money no longer remains distant. It's drawn to you by the intensity of your faith, the authenticity of your purpose, and the clarity of your vision. If you feel that resonance, go ahead and type 777 again. Let it serve as another layer of affirmation, a final stamp on this conversation that says, I'm not turning back, I'm not wavering, I choose effortless flow. Each digit resonates with an unspoken agreement between you and heaven, a covenant that your days of lack are over and your days of overflow have begun. One of the biggest misconceptions people have is that money is only about hard work. Don't get me wrong, work has its place, but when you're fully aligned with your purpose, the energy you invest doesn't feel like drudgery. It feels like an outpouring of passion, like the natural expression of who you are. That's when people say, wow, you make it look so easy. And it is easy, in a sense, because you've tapped into your unique frequency, where effort and fulfillment merge into one. Money then becomes the natural byproduct of you being authentically you, pouring forth your gifts and serving others with a genuine heart. You might wonder, does that mean I'll never face obstacles again? Of course not. Challenges are part of growth, but those challenges won't rob you of your belief that money is on its way, nor will they drain your spirit as they might have before. Instead, obstacles become opportunities for deeper creativity and stronger faith. You'll find yourself asking, what's the solution here, instead of lamenting, why me? That shift in attitude keeps the channels of abundance wide open. The moment you adopt a victim mindset, you clamp down on that flow. But when you maintain a posture of empowerment, you remain in sync with the cosmic principle that you are here to thrive, not merely survive. Think about the parable of the talents. Each servant was entrusted with a certain amount. The ones who invested their talents increased what they had. The one who buried his out of fear lost even the little he possessed. The lesson is simple. Life rewards those who take wise, bold action with whatever they've been given. Fear may whisper, "What if you fail?" But faith counters, "What if I soar?" The seeds in your hand are not meant to stay seeds, they are meant to multiply. Whether that means starting a business, going for a promotion, or even stepping into ministry that generates resources, the key is to do something with what you've been handed. Many of us have an invisible ceiling over our heads, a mental barrier about how much wealth we can handle. Maybe you believe you can only earn a certain salary, or that only certain types of jobs pay well. But these are illusions. When you stop limiting God, you discover that He can bless you in ways you never saw coming. Maybe there's an entire industry you haven't considered, or a skill you haven't tapped into yet. Stay open, stay curious. The world is full of resources, and you are connected to the source himself. You're not just an employee, you're a creator, a visionary, a carrier of divine solutions. Let's take a moment to touch on the concept of multiple streams of income. Gone are the days where most people could rely on a single 9 to 5 for all their financial needs. This isn't about hustling yourself into exhaustion. It's about diversifying the ways you serve and add value to others. Maybe you have a hobby that can bring in extra income, or a specialized skill you can teach online. Each stream of income becomes another channel through which money can flow to you effortlessly. And when your motives are pure, there's no shame in attracting abundance from various avenues. Rather, it amplifies your reach and your impact. Chosen ones, your words create worlds. Continually speak abundance over your life. Wake up and declare, "I am a magnet for prosperity. I am grateful for the endless supply coming my way." Some might laugh and call it silly, but the joke is on them. They'll still be complaining about their finances while you're busy depositing checks that seem to come out of nowhere. This isn't about ignoring reality. It's about commanding reality to align with your God-given authority. Remember how Jesus spoke to the storm and it stilled. Your words carry that same creative force when spoken from a place of unwavering faith. Now, let's look at practical disciplines that keep you in the flow. Budgeting, for one, isn't about restriction, it's about clarity and intention. When you tell your money where to go, you signal that you are responsible and prepared to handle more. Saving becomes second nature when you believe your future is worth investing in. Giving becomes joyful when you know your supply is endless. Investing becomes a calculated risk rather than a desperate gamble. Each of these disciplines is a reflection of self-worth and an understanding that you are a steward of the blessings entrusted to you. I want to emphasize that money is not the end-all. It's a tool, a vehicle, a means to an end. The real treasure is living a life of freedom, free to pursue your calling, free to support causes dear to your heart, free to bless those who cross your path. When money is flowing effortlessly, it frees up mental and emotional bandwidth. You're no longer weighed down by anxieties about bills or survival. Instead, your mind is liberated to dream bigger, to innovate, to love deeper. That's the real payoff, the expansion of your soul into the fullness of its purpose. Still, you might ask, what if I mess this up? What if I squander this flow? Remember, grace is available. If you make a mistake, learn from it. Don't let shame keep you from trying again. Many successful people have stories of financial failure before they found their footing. The difference is they never gave failure the final word. They used it as a stepping stone. Keep your heart pliable, teachable, and open to divine redirection. That humility ensures that even if you stumble, you'll land on a path that brings you back to effortless provision. Let's talk about relationships too. When you begin to prosper, not everyone will celebrate. Some may question your motives, others may try to guilt-trip you, and a few might even turn on you. That's par for the course when you rise above mediocrity. Handle it with grace. Don't shrink to make them comfortable. Don't apologize for your blessings. Instead, invite them to rise with you, to break their own chains of limitation. If they refuse, that's their choice, not your burden. You're on a journey, and not everyone is ready for the altitude at which you'll fly. In the midst of growth, it's essential to keep your spiritual life thriving. Pray, meditate on scriptures that affirm abundance. Surround yourself with faith-filled voices. Let the presence of God be your anchor. When you remain spiritually connected, you'll discern when opportunities are from God and when they're distractions dressed as blessings. Discernment is key. Not every open door is meant for you to walk through. Some can derail you if you're not careful. But if you stay in tune, you'll sense peace or a check in your spirit, guiding you accordingly. Chosen ones, there's a generation watching you. Whether it's your children, your younger relatives, or even strangers who look to you for inspiration. As you step into this effortless financial flow, you become a living epistle of what's possible for those who dare to believe. You show them that wealth can be achieved ethically, compassionately, and joyfully. You set a new precedent for what it looks like to be blessed without apology. That's part of your legacy. So walk with confidence, knowing you're blazing a trail for others to follow. Can you feel it? There's a quickening in your spirit right now. Something in you is standing taller, breathing deeper, resonating with the conviction that, yes, money can flow to you effortlessly. And it's not just about the money. It's about the sense of destiny that undergirds it. It's about the unwavering knowledge that you are not here by accident, that your dreams are not random, and that the resources required to fulfill those dreams are barreling toward you faster than you can imagine. Go ahead and type 777 once again, sealing this further. With each declaration, you're putting the final nails in the coffin of scarcity mindsets. You're ensuring that old limiting patterns will not resurrect themselves in your life. And if you find yourself doubting tomorrow, come back to this message. Re-listen, reread, reabsorb the truths. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word. This is your lifeline to a higher dimension of living.